I welcome you to our today's talk. In our today's talk, we want to have a look at the complications of diarrhea. What happens if the intervention to diarrhea delays? So that is what we want to have a look at today. Now, to begin, I want us to note that diarrhea is a life-threatening condition. And therefore, when one experiences diarrhea, then an immediate intervention, medical intervention, needs to be put in place. So very quickly, what are some of the common complications of diarrhea? So let's have a look at them one by one. The first complication of diarrhea is dehydration. Now, diarrhea leads to loss of body fluids, and when one loses body fluids, what then sets in is dehydration. And this can be in form of some dehydration or sometimes in severe dehydration. The next complication of diarrhea is shock. So one can then be dehydrated to the level that then what sets in is shock, or a situation referred to as the comatose state. So one goes into coma. The third complication of dehydration is what we call the organ failure. So we can have various functional organs or various vital organs failing. For example, we can have kidney failures, what is commonly referred to as renal failure. And this can either be acute, that then graduates into chronic. We can also have heart failure, as seen in what we call the high output heart failure. The next complication of diarrhea is what we call the weakened immunity. And so when the immunity is weakened, then one is very susceptible to various infections. And therefore, a condition called septicemia then sets in. So one stands high chances of other infections that takes the advantage of the immunity to then set in. The next complication of diarrhea is what we call malnutrition. So diarrhea can result into malabsorption, not only in children, but even in adults, if no immediate or early intervention is put in place. So then what we have is malabsorption. And when malabsorption occurs for a longer period of time, then one becomes malnourished, a condition called malnutrition. The next complication of diarrhea is what we call failure to thrive, especially in children. And this is very common. Our next complication of diarrhea is metabolic acidosis. And this is also another common manifestation of diarrhea. The next complication of diarrhea is called hemolytic anemia, as seen in individuals who have been infected by organisms such as Campylobacter or Yersinia pestis that then feed on blood or destroy the blood cells, so that we have hemolytic anemia. The last but not least complication of diarrhea is then death. If all those that I've mentioned are not properly managed, to an extent that there is a reverse, then one can die. So diarrhea can lead to death, and that is why then a lot of seriousness should be taken whenever one goes or one suffers diarrhea. Ladies and gentlemen, diarrhea can kill, and therefore anytime you experience this thing called diarrhea, or you encounter anyone going through or suffering diarrhea, kindly make a quick referral to the nearby health facility for quick intervention. In our next video, we'll then be able to talk about the various preventive measures, possible preventive measures to diarrhea. If you're watching us for the very first time, kindly subscribe. And until next time, it's goodbye from all of us.